Glory to Jesus Christ.
Glory forever.
So today in the life of the church, we still find ourselves in the afterglow of Theophany. For every feast, there's always a period of time where we're still sort of celebrating that feast until what we call the taking leave, the leave taking. That'll be on the 14th. So we still find ourselves in the midst of Theophany. But for a lot of these great feasts, we tend to notice a pattern. Sometimes we'll attend on the day of, we'll know the gospel of the day, we'll hear the historical account, and then the feast sort of fades away. But in hindsight, 2020, we can get a better appreciation for what these feasts are all about. And for Theophany, the readings for the Sunday after Theophany, luckily they're not commemorated this exact day because of some overlapping things, but the readings after Theophany tell us something more about it. It talks about, the epistle at least, talks about Christ, he who ascended into heaven, is also he the one who descended into the lower parts of the earth in his death. But it says that he did all those things in order that he might fill all things with himself. And this is really something that we have to seek the eyes of faith to look at Theophany through. That Christ was baptized not only to be an example to us that yes, we should be baptized, but he did it in order to fill everything with himself. When we're baptized, the water does something to us. We're cleansed. But when Christ was baptized, he did something to the water. When mankind fell in the beginning, everything that was under the care of mankind fell with him. This includes the natural world. And so what we're to understand Theophany as also being, it is a revelation of the Trinity, but it is also, in a sense, the beginning of Christ taking back the natural world for himself. He redeems mankind, but he also came to redeem everything else. And as Christians, we are also called to the same, although to our own degree, of course. We are also called to fill all things. There is no occupation that Christians haven't occupied. There is no station in life that Christians have not occupied. There was much talk years ago. There was a book written called The Benedict Option about in times past, when culture was very darkened and the world was not such a good place, Christians retreated in the wilderness, built culture, and then when the time was right, came back. And that created a discussion. Is our place as Christians to withdraw from society, or is it to engage? The answer is all the above. There have always been Christians who have set themselves aside for religious life, that have withdrawn slightly from the world in order to preserve God. There have also been missionaries who have gone to where people have not been living. Even in the scriptures we read about people that are Christians, even within the household of Caesar. The headquarters of where persecution was policy. And so for us as Christians, we need to think that the normal circumstances of our lives, the very non-glamorous, undramatic, some days maybe even boring, conditions of our lives are places that Christ wants to descend into. He wants to fill those places with himself. And even for people like Father John and other clergy, they can come to your home, they can bless it, they can go to your work and say hello for a brief spell. But you are the ones who live in those homes. You are the ones who work at those places. You are quite literally in the trenches. And so even for the clergy, there will be places that we can go, but our influence will only go so far. But for all of us, we are given by God's will our own circumstance, our own opportunity for Christ to descend into our homes, into our break rooms, and all the circumstances of our life. God doesn't just fill all things by himself. He wants us to have a share in it. Like any good military captain, he doesn't just sit from a distance and bark out orders, but he leads the way. He has shown us the way to fill all of creation with himself through his self-giving love and his mercy. And those are our marching orders. When we give love to those in the world, it is as if Christ himself is loving them. And when we give mercy to those who are less fortunate, whether it be temporarily or their state of life, God is having mercy on them through us. And it works the other way. When we give charity to those in need, we are not only being a conduit of God's grace to them, but they are a conduit of grace for us. St. John Chrysostom said very clearly, if you do not find or recognize Christ in the beggar on the street, you will not find him in the chalice. What does he say you'll find instead in the chalice? Judgment. That if we cannot be Christ's presence out in the world, then we will only receive judgment. This shouldn't make us afraid, but this should inspire us to not get caught up with even the idea, okay, I know what I have to do, I should love the world, I should be merciful. We shouldn't, in doing this, get caught up in grand ideas. But again, we need to stay with the little things. It is in the normal, daily circumstances of our life that God is giving us that opportunity. We only need to pray for the grace to recognize those moments, and in our small way, be an opening for God's love to shine forth. Glory to Jesus Christ. Glory to